Night had fallen on the quiet human colony of New Arcadia, a remote settlement on the edge of the galaxy. The streets were empty, lit only by the pale glow of street lamps and the occasional flicker of neon signs. Most humans stayed indoors, wary of the strange and dangerous creatures that sometimes wandered from the outer lands. Ethan Cole, a young engineer, was walking home after a long day at the colony's power plant. His boots echoed softly against the metal walkway. He carried a small bag with his dinner, a simple meal of protein rations and bread. It wasn't much, but it was enough for him. As he turned a corner near the abandoned market district, he heard a faint whimper. At first he thought it was the wind, but then he heard it again, a soft, pitiful cry. Ethan froze. The sound came from a shadowed alley, half hidden behind crates and broken machinery. Cautiously, he stepped closer. There, huddled on the cold ground, was a small creature. Its skin was pale and sickly, almost gray. It had large, dark eyes that reflected the dim light like pools of liquid. Its body was thin and frail, ribs showing through its torn clothing-like covering. Ethan's heart sank. Most humans would have looked away, maybe even run. The colony had strict rules. No contact with unknown alien creatures. But Ethan felt something stir inside him, a strange sense of responsibility. The creature was clearly starving, weak and terrified. Ethan slowly opened his bag and offered the creature a piece of bread. The creature flinched at first but didn't move away. It sniffed the food, its big eyes fixed on Ethan. Then, hesitantly, it took the bread in trembling hands and ate. Ethan knelt nearby, watching it carefully. "It's okay," he whispered. "I'm not going to hurt you." For a few moments the creature didn't speak. It simply ate, its small hands shaking with every bite. Ethan noticed its eyes. They seemed almost human in their intensity. They stared at him, not with fear but with understanding. And then it whispered something that froze Ethan's blood. "Ethan." He blinked, thinking he had imagined it. The voice was faint, broken, almost like a breath carried on the wind. He knelt closer. "Did you just call my name?" he asked, voice barely audible. The creature looked at him again. Its large, dark eyes seemed to search his very soul. Then it whispered again. "Ethan." Ethan's mind raced. How could this creature know his name? No one else was around, and yet the voice was real. Suddenly the creature shivered violently and collapsed onto the ground. Its eyes, wide and unblinking, began to glow faintly in the dim light. Ethan's heart pounded. He knelt beside it, checking its small, weak pulse. What are you?" he whispered. He felt a mix of fear and curiosity, but mostly responsibility. The creature was alive, barely, and it had somehow spoken his name. That was impossible. And yet, he could not ignore it. Ethan looked around quickly. The streets were empty, no guards, no other humans, nothing but the silent night. If anyone saw him with this creature, he could get into serious trouble. Still, he could not leave it here to die. He carefully lifted the creature into his arms. Its body was lighter than he expected, almost like it had no weight. The glow from its eyes pulsed softly, casting eerie shadows across the walls of the alley. As he made his way home, every sound seemed louder. A distant howl, the clank of metal, the soft hum of the colony's generators, all of it made him tense. The creature remained quiet now, but its eyes never left him. It felt intelligent, aware, dangerous perhaps, but not in a way he understood. When he reached his small apartment, Ethan set the creature gently on the floor. It curled up slightly, still weak, still glowing. He grabbed a blanket and wrapped it around its fragile body. "Okay," Ethan said softly. "You're safe. For now." The creature stirred slightly and looked at him. Its eyes seemed almost to plead, and then, in the same faint, haunting voice, it whispered again, "Ethan." Ethan sat back, stunned. He had never felt fear like this, not real fear, but awe. Something about this creature was different. Something about it felt important. Outside, the colony slept, unaware of the stranger hidden in Ethan's apartment. But Ethan knew deep down that his life had changed forever. The simple act of sharing food had opened a door to something he could not yet understand. And somewhere, far across the galaxy, eyes were watching. The creature's faint glow pulsed again, and Ethan realized he faced a choice. Ignore it and stay safe, or help it and risk everything. He didn't know the dangers waiting ahead. He didn't know who or what might come for the creature. But one thing was certain: he could not walk away. And as the night stretched on, Ethan whispered back to the creature, "You called my name. Now I will answer yours." The glow in its eyes seemed to brighten ever so slightly, as if in acknowledgement. Something had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The morning light filtered weakly through the small windows of Ethan's apartment. Outside, the colony was slowly waking, unaware of the secret visitor hiding within his walls. Ethan sat on the floor, staring at the creature curled up under the blanket. Its faint glow had dimmed, but its large, dark eyes now seemed to study him carefully. He didn't know where it had come from, or how it knew his name. But one thing was clear: this was no ordinary alien. Its presence made the air in the room feel heavier, as if the walls themselves were holding their breath. "Can you understand me?" Ethan asked, his voice shaking slightly. The creature lifted its head slowly. Its lips, or whatever passed for lips, moved, and Ethan's heart skipped a beat. Then, in a voice that sounded inside his mind rather than through his ears, it spoke. "Yes, I know your name. I have watched you." Ethan froze. Telepathy? He had read about alien species capable of communication without words, but he had never believed it until now. "Why? Why me?" he whispered. "You showed kindness," the creature replied. "In a galaxy full of fear and greed, you chose compassion. That is rare." Ethan shook his head, unsure how to respond. "I was just hungry. You looked hungry too." The creature's eyes glowed faintly brighter. "Kindness is dangerous and valuable. You have made yourself known to those who should not find you." A chill ran down Ethan's spine. "What do you mean?" "The galaxy is not safe for humans. Or for me," the creature said. "Ancient powers are stirring. Empires that thought they ruled all will soon realize that something is awakening." Ethan's mind raced. He had heard rumors of distant alien empires, their wars, their colonies, and their control over weaker species, but he had never imagined humans, tiny and scattered, would be caught in their games. You know about the empires?" he asked. The creature nodded. "I am from a race thought extinct. We once knew the secrets of the galaxy. They fear knowledge, and they fear those who survive it." Ethan sat back, stunned. A mix of fear and curiosity twisted inside him. "So, what am I supposed to do?" The creature tilted its head. "You will help me. Together we can survive. But first, you must understand. Humans are underestimated. Weak, scattered, but clever. And cleverness can change the fate of worlds." Ethan swallowed hard. "Change the fate of worlds? I'm just one man. How can I do that?" "You have already begun," the creature said. "By feeding me, by showing mercy. Small choices ripple across the galaxy. Empires will notice, and they will act." At that moment, a loud crash echoed from the street outside. Ethan's heart leapt. He rushed to the window and peeked through the blinds. A patrol drone passed slowly, scanning the streets with its blue light. It stopped, its sensors hovering near his apartment, then moved on. Ethan exhaled slowly. "You see?" the creature said. They are already watching. They know something has changed, and they are curious, dangerous. Ethan looked down at the creature, trying to reconcile what he was seeing. Its thin body, fragile and wounded, held knowledge and power far beyond anything humans had seen. Its eyes were deep pools of intelligence, ancient and cautious, yet trusting him. "What are you?" Ethan asked again. "I am called Lyra," the creature replied. "Once my kind guided civilizations. Now, I am alone, but not for long. With you I can survive, and perhaps the galaxy will learn what humans are capable of." The words made Ethan shiver. He did not fully understand what Lyra meant, but he felt the weight of it. This was no simple alien encounter. Something far larger was unfolding. The colony remained quiet, but Ethan knew it would not stay that way. Somewhere in the darkness of space, eyes were watching. Forces were moving, plans were being made, and humans were about to become part of it. He looked at Lyra, determination hardening in his chest. "If we're going to survive, we do it together." Lyra's eyes glowed softly, almost like a nod. "We have little time. They are coming, and they will not forgive kindness." Ethan's heart pounded. He had saved Lyra, and in doing so, he had stepped into a war he did not fully understand. But there was no turning back. The colony, the humans, the galaxy, they were all on the edge of something new. And Ethan realized, as the sun rose over New Arcadia, that his life had changed forever. Something was coming for them, and they would have to face it. Together. Night fell again over New Arcadia. The colony streets were quiet, but Ethan's apartment was anything but peaceful. Lyra, the strange alien creature, had grown stronger since yesterday, though it was still weak. Its glowing eyes followed Ethan as he moved, watching every action with intelligence and caution. Suddenly, a loud metallic hum shook the building. Ethan froze. He ran to the window and looked outside. Above the colony, a group of small alien scout ships hovered silently, scanning the streets with sharp blue beams of light. "They found us," Lyra whispered, her voice calm but tense. "They know I am here." Ethan's heart raced. Who are they?" "Scouts of the Zorath Dominion," Lyra said. "A minor empire, but dangerous. They hunt anything unusual, anything that can grow strong." Ethan stepped back from the window. His mind raced. The colony was unprepared. Civilians would panic. And the patrols? They wouldn't know what to do. "Lyra, what do we do?" he asked. "We hide, and if necessary, we fight," she replied. "I will not let them take me." Before Ethan could respond, the scouts began lowering small pods toward the streets. The hum of their engines grew louder. People screamed and ran. Some tried to hide, others froze in fear. The colony had never seen anything like this. Ethan grabbed a small makeshift weapon, a metal rod he had used for repairs, and moved toward the door. Lyra followed, her body glowing softly, her eyes fixed on the approaching threat. The first pod hit the ground with a crash. Alien soldiers spilled out, scanning for life signs. One soldier's eyes locked onto Ethan and Lyra. Without hesitation, Ethan swung his rod, hitting a small device on the ground. It sparked and exploded, temporarily blinding the soldier. Lyra acted. She raised her hands and a wave of strange energy erupted, knocking the soldiers off their feet. Sparks flew, metal twisted, and a few drones fell from the air. Ethan's jaw dropped. This creature, so small, so fragile, was capable of powers he could not comprehend. "They won't give up," Lyra warned. "They will come back stronger." Ethan nodded. "Then we need to move. Fast." Together they ran through the colony streets, ducking behind crates, jumping over fallen debris, and avoiding patrols. People scattered in panic. Some screamed at Ethan, thinking he was the attacker. He ignored them. Every second counted. From a distance, Ethan noticed a scout ship rise higher, scanning the area. Its beam passed over a narrow alley where they were hiding. Lyra grabbed Ethan's arm. "This way," she said, pulling him into a service tunnel. The tunnel was dark and cramped, but it provided cover. Ethan's heart pounded, echoing in his chest. He could hear the aliens searching above, shouting commands in a harsh, metallic language. "They are organized," Ethan whispered, trying to catch his breath. "Too organized." "Yes," Lyra replied. "But they underestimate humans. Cleverness is more dangerous than strength." Ethan looked at her. You mean, we can fight them? Lyra's glowing eyes met his. We can survive. And perhaps, we can show them that humans are not weak. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed from the tunnel entrance. Ethan and Lyra turned. A small alien patrol had found the tunnel. Ethan raised his rod, ready to strike. Lyra's body glowed brightly and the air shimmered around her. The alien stepped in cautiously. Then with a sudden motion, Lyra unleashed a pulse of energy. The force threw the patrol soldiers back, leaving them stunned but alive. Ethan's eyes widened. You just, they won't forget this, Lyra said calmly. And neither will we. The tunnel was quiet again. Ethan's chest heaved, sweat dripping down his face. He looked at Lyra. We survived. But for how long? Lyra's gaze moved toward the colony above. Not long. They will return. And next time they will not be scouts. They will come with full force. Ethan swallowed hard. His simple life as an engineer had ended. The galaxy was waking up around him, and humans, small, underestimated humans, were about to face powers far beyond anything they had imagined. The creature spoke once more, its voice soft but firm. We must leave the colony. Now there is a place where we can hide, and where you can begin to understand what it means to fight for survival. Ethan nodded. He had no choice. The city behind them was now a battlefield, but ahead lay the unknown. And in that unknown, the first sparks of something larger, something unstoppable, were beginning to form. They ran together into the darkness of the night, leaving the frightened colony behind. Somewhere out in the galaxy, eyes were watching, and the story of humans and Lyra was only beginning. The night sky above New Arcadia was filled with faint stars, but Ethan barely noticed them. His focus was on the glowing creature beside him, Lyra, and the sound of alien scout ships searching the colony streets below. Every step they took in the service tunnel echoed like a warning. We have to move quickly, Lyra whispered. They will return with more forces. The scouts are just the beginning. Ethan nodded, clutching a small bag with supplies. His mind raced. He had never run from danger like this, and yet somehow, he trusted Lyra. The creature's strange powers and intelligence were his only hope. They emerged from the tunnel into a hidden landing bay behind the colony. Ethan's small shuttle waited, dusty and old but functional. He and Lyra climbed aboard, locking the hatch behind them. Are you sure this ship can escape them? Ethan asked. Lyra's glowing eyes met his. It must, there is nowhere else to go. They will find you if we stay. Ethan activated the engines. The small shuttle lifted off just as the first alarm rang from the colony. Blue searchlights cut through the streets below. The scout ships immediately noticed them. Hold on, Ethan shouted as he punched the thrusters. The shuttle shot upward, dodging scanning beams. The city lights of New Arcadia fell away beneath them. Lyra rose slightly from her seat, her hands glowing softly. A pulse of energy emitted from her body, and for a moment the scout ships shuddered and faltered in the air. Ethan's jaw dropped. You're incredible. They are not invincible, Lyra said. They think fear is enough to control humans. But humans are clever. And cleverness is dangerous. The chase began in earnest. Scout ships darted after them, weaving between asteroid debris and the nearby belt. Ethan pushed the shuttle to its limits, dodging small explosions and the glare of alien lasers. Lyra guided him, her glowing hands pulsing in rhythm with their movements. Somehow she knew exactly where to go. Finally, after what felt like hours, Ethan followed her instructions into a narrow nebula field. The swirling gas and dust obscured their movements. The scout ships, larger and less maneuverable, struggled to follow. One by one, they gave up and retreated, their blue lights fading into the distance. Ethan exhaled, sweat dripping down his face. We made it. Lyra's glow dimmed slightly as she settled in the seat. For now, she said. But we are not safe. There are greater dangers ahead. Ethan looked at her, curiosity mixing with fear. What do you mean? She turned her eyes to the stars. There is a place long hidden where humans can learn the truth, where they can find weapons and knowledge that even empires fear. If we reach it, we may survive. If not, her voice faltered for a moment, then strengthened. We will be lost. Ethan's stomach twisted. The idea that humans could be unprepared for such dangers was terrifying. And yet he felt a strange sense of purpose rising inside him. He was no longer just an engineer coming home from work. He was part of something larger, something that could change the galaxy. The shuttle entered a quiet star system far from New Arcadia. Lyra guided him to a small abandoned planet. Its surface was rocky, barren, and covered with strange alien ruins. Ethan had never seen anything like it. "This is it," Lyra said. "Here you will understand. Here humans can rise, or fall." Ethan stepped off the shuttle carefully, his eyes scanning the ancient structures. The wind howled through broken towers and a faint hum of energy vibrated under his feet. It felt alive, as if the planet itself was waiting. Lyra approached him. "Within these ruins lies a power humans have forgotten, knowledge left behind by those who came before us. With it, you can defend yourselves, and perhaps even turn the galaxy's eyes toward humanity." Ethan's heart pounded. He had saved Lyra, and in return she had brought him to something far greater than he had ever imagined. The unknown planet was no longer just a hiding place. It was the beginning of a journey that could awaken humans to their true potential. As the stars twinkled overhead, Ethan realized the galaxy was about to change. Humans, once thought weak and disorganized, were about to learn the truth about power, survival, and courage. Lyra's glow pulsed brighter. "Tomorrow we begin," she said. "You must be ready, Ethan. Everything from this moment will matter." Ethan nodded, looking at the ruins around them. Danger and opportunity waited hand in hand, and deep down he knew there was no turning back. The morning light barely touched the barren surface of the abandoned planet. Ethan stepped carefully over jagged rocks and alien debris, the cold wind biting at his skin. Behind him, Lyra moved gracefully, her glowing eyes scanning every corner of the ruins. Though she had grown stronger since their escape, she still seemed cautious, as if the planet itself might challenge them. "This place, it feels alive," Ethan whispered, awe and fear in his voice. "Even though it's empty," Lyra nodded slowly. "It remembers. Long ago, my kind built this world to guard knowledge, secrets meant to protect those who could survive, and punish those who would misuse power." Ethan's heart raced. Knowledge, power. The words sounded dangerous, and yet he felt a strange thrill at the thought of discovering what the galaxy had hidden. They entered a massive structure carved into the rock, its walls etched with glowing symbols. The air inside hummed faintly, vibrating through Ethan's bones. He felt an energy pulsing beneath his feet, ancient and powerful. "Stay close," Lyra said. "Some of these devices, they test those who touch them. Only the worthy can awaken them." Ethan followed, cautious. The deeper they went, the stronger the hum became. He could see strange machines, their purpose unclear, but clearly designed with intelligence far beyond human technology. Lights flickered across the walls as if responding to their presence. Finally, they reached a large chamber. In its center stood a device, a complex structure of metal and crystal, its surface alive with shifting patterns. Ethan took a step closer, feeling an irresistible pull toward it. This is incredible," he whispered. Lyra approached the device and extended her glowing hands. "This is what I have been protecting. This is the hidden power. With it, humans can survive the dangers coming. With it, they can fight back." Ethan's eyes widened. "Fight back? Against what?" "The empires," Lyra replied, her voice low and serious. "They see humans as weak, scattered, insignificant. But with this, humans can become a force they cannot ignore." Ethan felt a shiver run down his spine. The weight of her words pressed on him. This was no longer about survival, it was about preparing for war, against empires that had ruled the stars for centuries. Lyra placed her hands on the device. Lights swirled faster and the hum became a deep resonance. Ethan stepped closer, feeling a surge of energy that made the hairs on his arms stand on end. What is happening?" he asked, his voice trembling. "This device reads your mind, your intent," Lyra explained. "It knows if you are ready, if you are worthy. Humans are untested, but cleverness can awaken what strength alone cannot." Ethan felt a sudden warmth in his chest and a faint glow of energy flowed through him. The device seemed to respond to his presence, pulsing in rhythm with his heartbeat. He could feel knowledge filling his mind, calculations, designs, and tactics for survival he had never imagined. Lyra's eyes shone brighter. "This is only the beginning. You will learn the weaknesses of the empires. You will understand their ships, their weapons, and you will learn how humans can fight back." Ethan's mind swirled with images, ships built of strange alloys, energy weapons, defensive shields. He realized that humans, though considered weak, had a chance if they understood the power left behind by Lyra's kind. Suddenly, a loud rumble shook the chamber. Ethan stumbled, grabbing a support beam. What was that? He shouted. They are here, Lyra said, her voice tense. The scouts detected the energy signature. They will return. In force. Ethan's heart pounded. They had thought they were safe, hidden on a barren planet far from New Arcadia. But the galaxy was vast and enemies never stopped searching. Lyra's glowing form pulsed with urgency. We have little time. You must learn to control this power, Ethan. Humans must be ready. If we fail, everything dies. If we succeed, the galaxy will see that humans are not weak. Ethan swallowed hard. The word settled on him like a heavy weight. It was terrifying and exhilarating. He had never imagined that he, a simple engineer, could hold the key to humanity's survival. And yet here he was. He placed his hands on the device, feeling its cold metal under his fingers. The energy surged again, weaving into his mind, unlocking secrets, guiding him. He saw blueprints, strategies, ways to fight, to survive, to protect. He understood now this was not just power, it was knowledge. Knowledge that humans could use to turn the galaxy's fear into respect. Or destruction. Outside, the sky darkened. Scout ships were returning, more numerous than before. Ethan looked at Lyra. We have to get ready. They won't wait. Lyra nodded, her glow steady and determined. And neither will we. The time for hiding is over. Now humans must rise. Ethan took a deep breath. His hand still tingled from the energy flowing through him. This planet, these ruins, Lyra. All of it was a beginning, a test. And soon the galaxy would feel the consequences of underestimating humanity. For the first time, he felt something he had never known. Hope mixed with power. The chamber pulsed around them, alive with energy as if the planet itself was waking. Ethan looked at Lyra. Then let's begin. Whatever comes next, humans will be ready. Lyra's eyes glowed brighter, almost proudly. Yes. And when they come, they will learn that humans are not the weak species they once thought. And somewhere across the stars, alien eyes widened. The tide of the galaxy was shifting. The humans, small and underestimated, were about to awaken, and no empire would ignore them again. The planet was silent now, except for the low hum of the ancient devices Ethan and Lyra had activated. The energy from the ruins pulsed like a heartbeat, flowing through the ground, through the air, and somehow into Ethan himself. He felt it in his chest, his mind, his very soul. Humans had long been considered weak, scattered colonies, small fleets, fragile settlements, but now, for the first time, they had something that could change the balance of power. Lyra's glow filled the chamber. You have learned much, she said, her voice calm but commanding. The empires underestimated humans. They assumed you would scatter, hide, or surrender. But humans can endure. Humans can adapt. And humans can fight. Ethan wiped sweat from his brow. He felt both fear and excitement. The knowledge he had absorbed from the ancient technology was overwhelming. Blueprints for ships, energy shields, defensive grids, weapons, and strategies. It was more than any single human could handle, yet somehow, he understood enough to see a path forward. What do we do now? Ethan asked. Lyra stepped closer. We return to the colonies. The humans need to organize. They must learn what it means to survive. And to defend themselves. This power is not just for one person, it is for humanity. Ethan's mind raced. They had fled from New Arcadia to this distant planet. But now they had a purpose: to prepare humans for the coming storm. Alien empires were watching. They would not forget the energy signature. They would return, stronger, armed, and deadly, and yet, for the first time, humans were not defenseless. The journey back was tense. The shuttle carried them across empty space, past asteroid fields and dying stars. Ethan plotted a course for the closest human colonies, while Lyra monitored for any signs of alien fleets. Scouts from distant empires were still searching. Every shadow in space, every glint of metal could be a threat. As they approached the first colony, Ethan's eyes widened. The once sleepy settlements were now bustling, unaware of the danger approaching. Civilians went about their daily tasks, completely unprepared for war. Lyra's voice was sharp. We must be subtle. Humans must learn, but they must also be safe. We cannot show our full power yet. Ethan nodded. He realized that survival would require patience, cunning, and courage. This was not just about fighting, it was about strategy, organization, and teaching humans that they were capable of more than they had ever imagined. Over the following days, Ethan and Lyra traveled from colony to colony. They shared knowledge, activated hidden caches of equipment, and taught humans how to use the ancient technology. Slowly, small groups of humans began to change. Fear turned into determination. Helplessness turned into strategy. Confusion turned into unity. "They are learning faster than I expected," Lyra said one night as they rested on a remote plateau, overlooking a small colony preparing for defense. "Humans are clever. They learn from mistakes, and they adapt. That is why the galaxy fears what comes next." Ethan looked at the glowing alien beside him. "Do you think we can really stop them? The Empires?" Lyra's eyes pulsed with certainty. "Stop them, perhaps. But more than that, we can show them that humans are not to be ignored. That humans are capable of survival, of resistance, and of power." The first signs of the Empire's response came soon enough. Alien scouts, larger and more numerous than before, approached human space. Fleets of ships, sleek and deadly, moved toward the colonies. They assumed humans would scatter or surrender. They assumed the species was weak. They were wrong. From hidden bases, humans emerged, armed and ready. Ships powered by the knowledge Lyra had shared rose from launch bays, energy shields shimmering in the starlight. Fighters maneuvered with precision, anticipating enemy movements. Humans who had once been simple colonists now commanded weapons and ships they had never imagined. Ethan stood on the command bridge of a rebuilt frigate, Lyra beside him, glowing softly. The galaxy was about to witness something no empire had ever expected. The alien fleets approached, confident, organized, and sure of victory. But humans were ready, clever, adaptive, and